Quarantine. All right. So this isn't going to be the first zombie movie we've talked about. Or actually, it might be with you. I've done, what's it called? I've done one of the Grindhouse movies, Planet Terror, and I did Resident Evil a while back. But this is the first, version of a zombie movie where it's not really zombies, if you think about it.
I mean, pretty much is.
It's rage virus zombies.
You just said zombies. So it is zombie.
But it's more rage virus. They're angry, bro. They're not hungry.
You just took out the word zombie.
They're not hungry, bro. They're angry.
They're hungry. They're eating each other.
Yeah, but they're not supposed to. They fucked it up.
I mean, if you're gonna get technical, I guess so.
Because for the movie, when there's a virus, usually the whole point, it's kind of like World War Z, that Brad Pitt movie. I don't know if you've seen that. That's pretty much, it's purely about the spread. They're not trying to eat you. Even though in this fucking movie, some of the motherfuckers did get ate.
Yeah. I don't know. Does it really matter? Zombie anyways.
It does matter, man. For the purity of the genre, okay? There's a difference between, Night of the Living Dead, a flesh-eating ghoul, and a person who's been infected with a virus that's fueling them to attack people.
It's the same thing, just playing the slow game, isn't it? The way you worded it just made it seem like you're just playing the slow game.
Well, no, it's the motivation. What's the motivation for why the people are doing what they're doing?
One is a flesh-eating zombie, the other one is taking their sweet-ass time to turn into one of those.
The other one is very angry, bro. It's like a bunch of Incredible Hulks.
Okay, fair enough. All right.
Listen, man, you just don't get it, bro.
I don't get anything.
No, but so this is a 2008 movie. It's a remake of a Spanish film, I think. It's called Wreck.
Yeah, I think going to this movie, I was expecting that movie, and it turned out to be like how you told me, the American version of it. Because I think there was there's even been a YouTube video of them just like side by side comparison of exactly how they are,
shot by shot. Yeah. It's nearly an identical film.
Yes. I've never seen Wreck, but I heard that one's better. Take your time.
Bro, they're like identical.
Like identical?
Identical, except it's all Latin people instead of
Americans. And then isn't it like witchcraft stuff?
No, it's more religion based. Spoiler alert.
Then in that case, I'm sure that movie sucks also too. Because I hate this movie.
Way to jump in front of it, man.
Of course. Going straight into it.
Okay, so why didn't you like the movie? Oh, wait. Better yet, spoiler alert, guys. We're about to dismantle the shit out of this movie.
I'm sure.
Haven't seen it. Come back. If you're here, you probably already saw the damn thing.
I'm sure people... Well, can't say shit. This movie was boring as hell. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to lie to you. I was watching this movie, and for the last 30... I would say... an hour to 30 minutes... I was just like, I want this movie to be over with already. I was literally just trying to fast forward I was almost tempted to fast forward through this movie. Mm-hmm. It's just not what I expected.
I know, and you picked it out.
I know I picked it out, and I'm kind of mad that I ended up choosing this instead of the other zombie movies that I was actually going to pick out. That probably would have been a lot better.
I think my girl recommended this one to you, huh?
She did, but she said it was based off the Wreck movie, and she said she really liked those. Yeah,
I mean, so... I wasn't exactly I've seen this movie at least 20 times. I saw it on...
So you saw it in the movie theaters?
Saw it at the theaters. I've seen it on TV a handful of times. So I'm kind of aware also that this isn't a quick moving movie until it is. It's it takes 40 minutes for the stuff to start, I feel.
And even then, it's at least for me, it was still I just want to fast forward this. It wasn't even interesting, to be honest.
So, try to summarize the movie for me.
So, reporter sticking with the fire crew. They eventually get a call. So I don't even know what the call was about, to be honest. The movie was very quiet, by the way. Mm-hmm.
There's no music in it whatsoever, by the way.
Actually, I just noticed that. Yeah, there is no music, but it's also very quiet. I don't know if it's my setup with my TV and my surround system, but it's very quiet.
Low key, bro, your TV just shitty.
Probably, even though I spent $400 on it. Anyways, so they get a call for something. I don't even know what it was. They go there. There's the owner, I believe, is the owner of the apartments or whatever they're called, the landlord. Yeah. So they go. They find into this one old lady room. At that point, they should have already straight up just been like, yeah, something's fucked up here.
Mm-hmm.
But gotta play movies, so I don't know what this is. What the hell? So that happens, and then it slowly starts to spread because she bit one of the cops that was there also that take care of the business there, and then one of the firefighters was still up there, and he ended up getting bit also. Gets thrown off flight of stairs, and then from there, it just kind of just slowly starts spreading into everybody. And I mean, then what is it called? Then basically the quarantine part starts, where they just, I don't know, where you start getting quarantined, and from there it just starts spreading until everybody dies. That's pretty much it.
I think my biggest question for the movie is how, like, they know.
What do you mean?
You know what I'm saying? Like, how do they know to quarantine that building at that moment? And how is that, like, type of response on the fucking ready?
Well, it's because, I mean, in the movie they explain it, where they said it was, what's it called? I think it was the dog, one of them, had, like, some, like, type of infection that they took to the vet, and then apparently was, like, biting all the other animals there. And then they all started to, like, basically rapidly turn into like, how the dog was.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess at that point, they probably contacted, like, the government or whatever, and then they told them about it. And then that's when they were like, the dog came from, like, this location. Because they said that the tags had the location of the building. So then I guess they just did that. How they do that all in one day, I have no idea. But, I mean, I'm assuming they're organized well, I guess.
You paid way more attention during that part than I did.
That was probably like actually, that wasn't even an interesting part. It was just one of the parts that actually was detailed.
I know, just
giving you, like, dialogue to, like, understand the plot of it. Yeah.
In my head, whenever they were, like, doing their explanation for it, I just heard, like, this is bullshit.
Yeah. I was like, I guess it makes sense, because then in the end you find out, like, the person that they said lived in the attic was like a crazy person or whatever it is, because I'm sure it's still human, but it's like it's all fucked up. But they're, like, doing, like, testing on animals and, like, trying to bring, like, viruses or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what it was. Because I was trying to read, like, the little thing. You know how they try to show you, like, the pan, like, oh, this is to explain what's going on. It's like I couldn't even read most of it because, like, it was so blurry. But they were, like, trying to make, like, viruses or like old, like, I don't even know what it was, like, rituals or some shit.
So your biggest complaint of this movie is that you were bored.
Dude, this movie is not what I expected it to be. It was boring as hell. It's like nothing interesting happened. It's like from the whole movie, from the beginning to the end, there was never a point where I'm like, oh, this is a pretty cool movie. The whole time I was just like, okay, all right. I want this to be over already, but it's still going.
So I come into this like how you said you felt at the end of it. That's how I felt before I came into the movie. Mm-hmm. Like, I kind of came into it with, like, okay, I'm really not that pumped to see this, because I remember it not favorably. Like, I'm like, okay, this is kind of like a iffy movie for me. But upon, like, watching it and, like, really paying attention and stuff, I actually liked it more than what I came into it remembering.
What aspect of it?
Just the whole premise with the reporter going to report on the daily fucking happenings of firemen, pretty much.
Okay.
I thought that was like, okay, that's an interesting, like, way to set it up, and it's a first person movie. You know, the whole thing's done on a video camera, right?
This wouldn't count as a found footage movie, would it?
Yes, found footage.
I would say that first person or found footage.
Anytime there's a camera, it's found footage.
Okay.
And like, you know, there's a whole bunch of zombie movies, so there's a way you got to differentiate yourself.
That's true.
And so it was a different aspect of the movie.
I'll give them that. I'll give them the idea and the concept was pretty cool because it's different and it kind of like it's something new. I just feel like they could have done it a lot better.
And it starts out strong to me because they try to give people personalities. Mm-hmm. We kind of get to, you know, pal around with the reporter, Angela. We don't really see the fucking camera dude. We saw the camera guy once, I think.
Very rarely, yeah. His name's Scott, I think, right?
Yes, and they show the firemen, and we kind of get a little bit of character development with the firemen, right?
The only two in there.
Yes.
Out of like, actually, I just noticed that. Wasn't like 2 fire trucks going, and only 2 firemen actually showed up?
Yes.
That makes sense. But anyways, go on.
So we get kind of character development with her and the firemen, but the second she walks into the building, none of that shit matters. It's all thrown away. We get introduced to a cop. We get introduced to some tenants of the building. And
diversity.
A whole different kind of people. They're all foreign people for some reason, right?
No.
There's the African couple, a couple Spanish people.
I don't want to be racist, so I'm going to stop there. But I think it's like, there was like white people, the Hispanics, the Africans. Pretty sure there was like an Indian dude.
The Russian dude, all kinds of motherfuckers.
Yeah, like everything.
But anyways, we don't ever really get any, like, there's no character development for any of these people. We're just getting their reactions to the situations that they're in. And then we kind of watch them be afraid for about 10 minutes. And then they all start getting picked off one by this fucking virus.
Yeah. And that was like, I don't know if it was just me and like tolerance to people. But like the more I notice, like they're trying to develop their characterness, it's like the more annoying these people got.
Yeah.
Especially like for example, the drunk was it the Russian dude, whatever, the guy in the collar shirt. That guy got hella annoying really quickly, and then the cop was
an
asshole also, and then I don't know. People were, and then the mom with the little girl, she was getting annoying too. To me, these people were just annoying.
Here's what you're talking about. So when the shit hits the fan, this movie decides to use every single horror trope imaginable to kill these people. Like you said, the drunk guy's like, I got to get more alcohol. There's a woman who's like, oh, my dog ran away. I got to go chase the dog. Or, anything. Any excuse to get these people to do really dumb fucking things. They all do it.
That probably explains. That makes a lot more sense now, actually. Since, like I said, I didn't care for any of them. Because the way they were, and I just didn't care for their character. So I guess that makes sense why they were just like, well, we're just going to kill them off anyway, so.
So they don't have any character development. They do really stupid fucking decisions that aren't really logical.
Exactly.
But I'll give this movie some credit, right? Something they do that's kind of cool is in a lot of movies, they don't show like weak people, one, getting hurt or doing malicious shit. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I said that word right. Malicious.
Yeah, you're good.
And but they show the old lady's the first one you fucking see. Now, to me, that was a cool scene. When they're walking into the apartment over the shoulder of the cops and the firemen, and you just see an old lady in the room with blood coming down her shirt.
Is the part not the first, the moment they get there, but isn't the second time they try to talk to her?
That was the first time too, but that time they calm her down. The second time they do it again, and it's a different thing.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But that scene, the tension in that was really cool. The reveal was cool. A little unrealistic though. Do you think the cops would let a fucking news camera, literally, say you're a cop talking to somebody, and they put the camera right on that cop's fucking shoulder? That dude's fucking got to be riding this cop's ass. And she's tucked on. She's in front of the camera, so she's literally shoulder by shoulder with this cop.
No, because realistically, they would probably.
They would have been in the hallway, further down the hall. They wouldn't let them
They wouldn't let them in. I don't even know if in reality, if this is even possible. I don't know if they let actually a news cast actually follow people like that.
Have you not seen the TV show Cops, brother? Bad boys, what you want? What you mean?
It's entertainment though.
There were real cases, I would assume.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
There's a whole army of shirtless white dudes that would attest to that it's real, bro.
Depending this religiously. I guess that makes. Yeah, I guess that's true because there's also there's cops, and then there's the other one that got canceled. I don't remember. There's another cop show also.
I was thinking of the Repo shows. I don't know why.
Well, not those.
It's not all the same thing. But that's my head, right?
That's the same thing. So I guess that makes sense. But I don't know. It's just like the whole. Like, I don't know why they would let them do that. I mean, I guess it's obviously for the movie's purposes to like, oh my god, let's show what's going on. Because if you like don't see anything, then you're like, well, what the fuck? But then I guess that leaves the mind to kind of imagine a little bit first.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I guess it's just a way to go for it, to kind of just push forward the movie. I guess to kind of give you an idea of like this is a zombie movie. This is she's the first one infected, so let's show it. And then the people to treat her like a normal person, even though they see clearly blood all over her mouth and her, having rabies or whatever. It's like people are like, "Hey, are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's totally gonna be like, "Yeah, I'm totally fine," or "Hey, I need medical help right now." It's like,
I got a handful of questions about stuff like that. So
yeah.
you're in this situation, right?
Yeah.
How quick do you just start lighting people up like Christmas trees, or do you like try to capture people and contain them?
Mm-hmm. I don't know, because it's like obviously, like for example, like the first time they see the lady, she's just like she's covered in blood, and she looks like a little infected, but it's not like anything major compared to like the second time where they actually light her up. Like at that point, it's like the moment you see her, I'm like, yeah, she started fucked. But the first time, I guess it depends on how much she looks like infected. I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you compare the first one to the second one, it's like you can tell a big ass difference. Like this girl's already a zombie or whatever, compared to the first one, where it's like I guess the more human-ish they look, the more I guess you can help.
You know what's kind of annoying about these movies
What?
is that like you always have to like take into account and you have to like believe for a second
Realism.
that in this universe people don't know what the fuck zombies are.
That's also a thing too.
In every zombie movie, right?
No
Everybody's
one knows.
always like, "What is going on? He's eating people.
What's a zombie?
You can't. It's shot 100 times and he's still coming at us. I don't understand." It's like, motherfucker, have you not seen
Any zombie movies?
50 years of zombie media that has been pushed?
And then their way of saying it was, well, they have rabies, but they have super rabies.
Yeah, it's not just rabies, yo. It's super rabies.
Yeah, and they have a vet taking care of these people instead of an actual doctor, which is like, I mean, okay.
I mean, I guess, it's
Yeah.
not. What are the chances? Like, it'd have been corny if there was like, we have a brain surgeon on deck.
I mean, I guess that's true. But like their way of saying it was like, yeah, he's a vet. He knows about rabies. Like, and he's like, well, these aren't regular rabies. Like, rabies take like a while to develop, and then once they're developed, you can't fix it. These are like happening in like minutes,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just kind of like, so they have super rabies, and it's just like, isn't that zombies? But no, they're not zombies. It's rabies.
That's also the plot of Zombieland.
Yeah, but they know they're zombies.
Oh yeah, true.
Here they're like, what is this? What is a man eating another man? What?
Hey, you might have just got another notch towards your argument, because in that one they say it's from mad cow disease, so people turn into mad people, which is still a rage virus, but they call them zombies in that one.
At least they acknowledge it.
Yes.
So, because I know what you're talking about. I have seen Zombieland, but it's like, at least there they're like, hey, you know what? Since they got it, they became zombies. Here it's like they got rabies or whatever. We still don't know what's going on. Like, these are zombies? What? Never heard of that word before.
So, something else. Off the different subject. So, this is a found footage movie. There's a video camera the whole time. And anytime we talk about found footage movies, a question I like to ask people is, do you think it was justified for them to be filming in this movie? Is the use of a camera necessary, and does it make sense? And at what point does it stop making sense for them to be recording?
Like, realistically talking or movie-wise?
Let's go movie-wise.
Movie-wise, never start recording.
Never.
You'll get the money shot. Realistically, it'd be a different story. Okay. Realistically, the moment where it's like, I guess, like if you were to go off the movie, like say the movie actually happened, me personally, I probably would say the movie, the thing stops recording the moment you get quarantined. Like, and not necessarily the moment it happens, but the moment like they say, hey, like this is what's going on. Like they kind of like, you know how they don't really tell them much, but it's like the moment start kind of telling them, hey, this is what's going on. We're sending you help or whatever. At that point, I'd be like, okay, let's probably stop recording and try to stay calm and everything. Because it makes more sense there.
That's what I thought in my head, right? I was like, okay, they probably should stop somewhere around when shit gets real.
Yeah.
But she's a news reporter.
I was saying, the money shot.
She's a news reporter. And the guy's a video camera for a news station. So it's not like this is just like a daughter and her dad on a picnic trip.
No.
They're trying to get a story. They're trying to document this experience. So even once the CDC or whatever the health people get involved, that's really when the cameras are going to be up.
Yeah.
And even when the guy in the suit comes in to like start checking people, the camera's really going to still be up. I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, because I mean, like I said, it's the money shot for them. For them, it's like the moment they get out, if they get out, it's more of like send us to news stations and everything, make money off of it and get like a really famous, and get a promotion or whatever happens after that. Like when someone gets a good story, I guess.
Because something that's annoying to me in found footage movies is there's a lot I've seen where the main character uses the phrase, record everything, don't stop. And it's always like, why? But like I said, she works for a fucking news station, bro.
That mentality is already inserted, I guess. Because it's like, don't stop anything, like, at all. But there was times in this movie where it's like, the guy could have dropped his camera for a little bit, help out, and, save a couple people up. But it's like, no, stop, record everything. He's like, well, I become a helpless person now at this point.
So at the point when, like, the CDC guy gets bit and they're all running, there's a lady chained to the stairwell.
Yeah.
And the camera's got to go away, bro.
Yeah.
You officially now have to actively become help. You can't just be holding this fucking dog-sized camera on your shoulder.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is only until, I guess, shit goes down. Then you can stop recording. But at that point, don't even stop recording at all either. Just keep filming. Just help me out at this point. Because, like, he didn't turn off the camera or anything. He just, like, just puts it down and it goes helps and then picks it up back up and starts recording again. Mm-hmm. So the camera never stops rolling.
Yes. And also, I was lightly touching on this before about things that I liked about it. How, like, the old lady, is the initial scared part. Mm-hmm. I like how they use, like, the dog, the German Shepherd. They used a little girl.
Yeah.
A little girl gets infected, bro.
I was gonna ask you that. In the being, like, realistically, like, say this actually happened. Say you were the mom and, Bella was the kid. Mm-hmm. And you knew about this. You knew about the dog being infected. The guys tell you, hey, the dog was infected, and this is why we're getting this. And then they say they pass it through saliva. At that point, like, Bella and the dog were like, the dog licked Bella or whatever, So at that point, she's infected. Would you be like her and be like, no, my daughter's okay. She has nothing. She's wrong. And the moment she turns, still want to save her? Or the moment you find out that she's, like, infected like that, you're like, this is it. Sorry, Bella, but I have to kill you.
So, as a parent with a kid, right?
Yeah.
My first instinct will be, one, to try to neutralize her for her safety and for other people's safety. Separate her, do anything I can to contain her that's not like some inhumane shit, like not throwing her in a fucking basement,
Yeah.
If I could sedate her, if I could keep her like on a bed or something, tied up. I don't want to use another word besides tied up. Restrained.
Yeah.
I was like tied up.
Tied up.
No, but and I mean we get medical doctors, and if there's no cure, man, it's like she's suffering. Then it's like, all right, you got to pull the plug, doc. Mm-hmm. But realistically, that's how I would handle it. But my first instinct would be, I mean, it's a small child.
Yeah.
You should be able to
just force it down. Yeah, because it's like.
But I wouldn't be like, oh no, just let her run around. She's just playing. No, fuck that, dude.
Yeah, because it's like they tell her that she's in denial. She even bites her, and she's still in denial. And she's like, "Go run away!" And it's like, you just let another zombie out at that point. Because I don't understand this part. I didn't understand. It's like the CDC guy. He goes and tells them, "You need to get a sample from her." What is the sample gonna do though? Is it just gonna prove that this is an infection, or are you guys trying to like save her? Because then at that point they go chasing after her. I didn't understand that part. Like, what's the point of it?
Yeah, I don't get it either.
Because like I know
drilled into the guy's brain, right?
Yeah, because when they go in, they get samples from them to like I guess to find out like virus and I guess see what it is. That makes sense. But if you already have it, and then another one leaves, why go after it? unless you're gonna neutralize I guess then it's a different story. But at that point, why don't you just let them come to you instead of going after and getting cornered or something? Logic here.
I don't even remember that plot point, bro. Like I just the whole part where like I said, after the CDC guy gets bit and like chaos ensues, everybody's getting chased around this apartment complex or whatever it is. It really did become very generic.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people making dumb decisions, a lot of like
that was the whole movie.
Yeah, it just became very plain in that moment.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's the point where I was like, all right, I kind of want to fast forward this movie a little bit because at that point it's like, oh, everyone's gonna start dying slowly, and then it's gonna be one person. It's already very predictable what's gonna happen, and it was nothing interesting happening. So I just kind of like wanted to fast forward this movie, but I'm like, I can't. I need to actually sit through this whole movie and see what happens.
Now, like I said, we're pretty much just going blah blah to the entire like middle part of the movie because I mean that's really what it feels like
at this point. Because the first beginning is nothing interesting. It's just how this happened and the news report, and then the ending doesn't really explain a lot.
See, and I feel the opposite. I was on board for the beginning. I like the development and the intro. Like, okay, makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But the middle part is when I was kind of like, and now we're just gonna go through the motions.
Yeah. Also, one thing, I don't know if it was just me or not. I have a feeling it's not just me, but it's like, how like I don't know if I'm sure it's the government at this point, but it's like how the government quarantines people and they're like pointing guns at everyone. It's like, don't move or we'll shoot. And it's like, you can't escape this room or whatever. And they have a fucking sniper just waiting through windows and everything. It's like, and them not saying anything about like what's going on. They're not giving them any like, hey, if we're going to send help or, this is what's going on. It's more of them just, you're being quarantined. Don't try to escape. And that's it. It's like, to me, like, or I guess I should ask, is that really how the government is? And not just more of that, more is like, why is the government like that?
See, to me, that sounds more like a private entity.
Because
like a private corporation, like on some umbrella corp shit. Because the government, that's a very broad term. There's multiple parts of the government.
I know it's a lot, but I was like, that was very like, because I wasn't necessarily sure what like that would be qualified as or whatever.
I could imagine that, like, say if there was some government head who's looking over some like company or some lab that's doing shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the lab will tell the government like, hey, we fucked up. You got to do this, this, and this. And so maybe they would instill that because, the United States is a company pretty much, right? It's not necessarily a country.
Yeah, at this point.
It's a private company.
Mm-hmm.
So I could actually see like a portion of that government doing something like this.
Because it's like I said, they had the army or whatever they had. People like in every corner pointing guns at them, telling them, don't come any closer, we will shoot. And it's like not explaining anything to anybody. And it's like, I don't know if you guys are just being assholes at this point, or if it's like, that's just like what that's how it's supposed to be.
You know what? Actually, when I was looking up this director,
mm-hmm.
What's his name?
What's his name?
Oh, we forgot his fucking name. John Dowdle.
Uh-huh.
He directed As Above, So Below, and he also directed a movie called Waco, I think. You know what Waco is, right?
Doesn't ring a bell.
It's the incident that happened in Waco, Texas, where some guy had like started some type of religious commune, some fucking big ass building, and he had a cult. There was a bunch of people that followed him.
Doesn't sound familiar.
And they had been stockpiling on guns and stuff, but I mean, in Texas, that's their right.
Uh-huh.
And he was like banging all the other dudes' wives, which they were all cool with. Okay. He was that type of cult leader.
Uh-huh.
And so the government or somebody down in Texas high up didn't like him starting his own little fucking militia, pretty much.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So the government raised the fucking building,
mm-hmm.
and it's all hearsay what happened. They allege that the Waco guys shot at them first. The Waco guys say they shot at them first. Who knows? But what ended up happening was they get into a shootout with the cops and these people,
mm-hmm.
and the cops throw tear gas inside of the fucking compound. The tear gas starts a fire, so everybody inside gets burned alive.
Uh-huh.
Courtesy of the government or the state of Texas.
Uh-huh.
So is that not kind of reminiscent, probably, of what the people in this quarantine felt like, but from the perspective of the people inside the Waco cult? Or is that a stretch?
I can see it, but I feel like it's a little stretch because I mean it's a whole different situation, obviously. So it's like them. It's like we're starting a cult. At that point, I don't know what the end goal of the cult is.
Doesn't this movie like reference cults though?
Well, the virus stuff at the very end, isn't it?
At the end, yeah, they talk about like a cult.
Like I said, I couldn't necessarily pinpoint like if it was like some ancient shit, like virus stuff spreading, or if it's like trying to kill a government or nuclear weapon, or I don't even know what it was. But it's like I don't know. It's like seeing that I'm like, this is how the government really is. Like, damn, they're big assholes. Because it's like you figure it'd be like, hey, these people aren't infected. They're quarantined because they're trying to figure out what's going on. But at least let us know, and be like, hey, not point a gun at you the moment you step outside, like through like a window or something. Be like, if you come any closer, we will kill you. It's more of like, hey, we're not sure what's going on. Let me explain to you a little bit. At least not the whole thing while you're just chilling, but at least give me an idea of what's going on to not be like, okay, that makes sense. And then just go hang out or whatever. Because I mean, people are gonna overreact, not gonna be calm, but still, at least you're giving them like an idea of what's going on. Because I think isn't like in one scene they were like, they look at the little rabbit ears antenna thingies, and they're like they end up picking the signal up from the newscast, and they're like, everyone's been evacuated already. The building's empty, and it's a nuclear thing or something like that. And it's like at that point, you're just lying to media also that no one's in that building anymore.
Okay, but let me give you kind of a fucked up like metaphor and reference, right?
Work wants me to go, and hell no. Anyways,
so pretend that like you bought a bag of meatballs to cook with your spaghetti. Okay.
Okay.
It's frozen meatballs.
Okay.
Now, when you open the bag of meatballs, you pull one out and you're like, "Hey, this one looks like black. It's like spoiled or rotten." Mm-hmm. Okay. Pull out a second one. Oh fuck, this one is too. Now, mind you, the whole bag looks fine, but you pulled out one or two bad ones.
Yeah.
So, are you going to just throw those out and use the good ones, or are you going to throw out the entire fucking bag?
I guess that's a good point.
That's kind of where I think this government was from, is like, they could be like, all right, we'll just kill the bad ones, but we'll just use good faith that the rest of this is good. So they have to approach this, everybody's fucking spoiled and rotten.
I mean, I guess that's the logical way to do it. But I don't know.
It's fucked up, but that's how the government has to like approach the situation.
I guess that's what I was going with. Like, it's kind of fucked up, and like
once again, I told you a fucked up metaphor, but does it not fit?
Well, in that aspect, I guess it does. It's just like I don't know. I just thought it was fucked up, and I was like, damn, this is how it really is. That's kind of shitty. But I guess in the way you say it, it is protocol, so it makes sense. But at that point, if you see someone like saying like, "Hey, don't shoot," like, oh, hands up, like, I'm okay, nothing's wrong. There's people that are injured inside. At that point, you're still like, nah, if you move, we're gonna shoot you.
There was a point, bro. This is what another frustrating thing about zombie and apocalypse movies is. There's always a point where the situation is manageable until it's not.
Exactly.
When it's the old lady and the dog, manageable. Mm-hmm. Even when it's the fireman and the one other guy on the bedside table and everybody, there's still the ratio to people and infected people, manageable.
Yeah.
Now, when fucking everybody's running around and the lights go out and people are getting bit in the dark, we fucked up.
At that point, because you don't.
At that point, that's when you got to just murk everybody, and I think that's what the government was doing. But they didn't, like you said, they didn't care to know the situation. When the CDC guy walks in and he's like, 90% of the people in this fucking building are cool.
Yeah.
All right, let me go inside and get some guys with guns. Let's handle this shit.
Yeah.
That's when it's like realistically should have been handled.
Well, at that point, it's just me thinking logically about the movie.
Me too. Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Like, if there's a point to where it's no longer fucking. But anyways,
that's it. Like I think that's one thing I noticed that when it comes to watching movies for you. I look at these movies very logically, and I'm just like, it just like pisses me off and just makes it like, this is stupid. So maybe that's what I have with this movie. Like, this whole movie was just not logical like the other movie that we watched. and the whole time we were just ripping the movie because it was not logical. I think I had the same situation with this movie too, where it's like it's not logical, like to most aspect, and it's just I guess that's just what bothers me a lot.
So you didn't even like enjoy the ride?
I honestly didn't. Like I said, I walked into the movie. I'm like, okay, this might be a cool movie, and the whole time I'm just like, I just want this movie to be over.
I did like the part when the fireman fell from the second floor, where you go splat.
Yeah, because when everyone just like looks back, like, what the hell?
And then you just see like his body go pancake.
Yeah, there was one cool shot that I saw was when the guy with the camera was beat that one zombie.
Beat the chick's face in.
Yeah, with the camera and like you saw like the blood splat on the camera. I was like, that was a pretty cool shot. Other than that, I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, there was a lot of underwhelming kills.
Yeah,
like it's really just like a person gets bit one time, dead. Yeah. Somebody jumps out from around the corner, bites them from behind,
dead.
Yeah.
Or didn't even see them get bit or anything, but they turned into a zombie.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's not very whelming, not like satisfying. I'm not saying I want to see some action shit, but it's just like, oh, they're bit, they're dead now. That guy got jumped in the corner, dead. Okay, it's very underwhelming.
And nobody kills a zombie, bro. Like they shoot a couple of them, and other than that, we're just running from the whole time. Which I guess though it could be construed as more realistic.
To a sense, I guess.
Because The Walking Dead leads us all to believe that everybody should be a Navy SEAL and should be able to fucking, you know what I'm saying, handle business.
Yeah.
Realistically, bro, we're all fucked. It'll be sloppy and it'll be grimy as hell.
Well, because it's like, if you look at it this way in the movie, the cop at least had a gun. I'm sure he's not carrying like 45 clips on him, but it's like at least he's carrying like at least 2 clips. If anything, once you find out there were zombies, you got the samples, just kill them already. And then like the fireman had a sledgehammer.
Yeah, axe, right?
Or he had an axe or a sledgehammer, one of the two. And it's like same thing. It's like once you know if anything, if you don't use your bullets and you want to save them, use the hammer and smash their head or something. Mm-hmm. Or I'm sure there's other things you could use as a weapon there, but no one ever considers killing anybody. Except for like that one time in the beginning when the old lady actually starts approaching the cop and the cop just starts shooting her and he freaks out because like I just killed someone. But it's like at that point, after that, no one tries killing anybody or any zombies at least. It's kind of more of like push them away and run away. Not let me just might as well neutralize the,
There's a point when you stop worrying about neutralizing. Like when you see they're actively murdering people, it's like, all right, now we got to put you down.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's like at that point, do you run or do you actually try to like end it?
It depends if you're capable. Like I'm saying, if we're like talking a bunch of zombie kids, I'm sleeping them all, bro. Yeah. With these bare hands.
Catch that on camera.
Catch these hands. How about that, zombie kids?
Oh my god. But it's like, yeah, it's like you figure if it's like in the beginning, those 2 zombies, you could just neutralize this whole thing would have been over. You already killed the one upstairs, the old lady. And then you kill the 2 that are turning. The little kid, it's the only one.
Just gotta go, man.
Exactly. Other than that would have been it.
Yeah.
But then, well, besides the dog, the dog was stuck in the elevator, I think, with the guy, and that's it. The moment they decided not to kill anybody and just kind of just like who get more samples and stuff like that, it's like you're just asking for it at that point to spread it out.
So. After we jump through all the blah stuff, man.
Yeah.
Now, here's what I really enjoyed the end.
Which part of the end? From when to where?
When it goes pitch black and we go into night vision. Okay. When they escape from the main floor of the apartment and they're in the penthouse.
Okay.
And they explore this apartment room that belongs to the guy who started the whole thing, apparently. And like you said, there's newspaper clippings. There's a bunch of cages. It looks like more of a lab than an apartment.
Yeah. And I couldn't at that point. I couldn't figure out what was the on the news clippings and everything. Like I couldn't tell if it was like he was trying to or whatever it was trying to develop like nuclear virus or just testing for to live mortality or I couldn't tell what the goal was.
So, one of the titles on the articles on the wall says an Armageddon cult.
Oh, so it was a cult.
Yes.
Okay.
And it says that they had broken into a lab recently. And earlier in the movie, the landlord of the apartment said that some guy from Boston lived in that room.
Yeah, and he hasn't been seen in months.
Yes. Yeah. So what I learned just from reading about the movie, like you said, I didn't really understand who was in the apartment or what the fuck, because there's a little kid in like an attic.
Oh yeah. The only jump scare in the movie, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then there's also like a 7-foot naked dude walking around.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
I don't know what the hell's going on.
But that creeped me out, bro. The guy always manages to creep me out. I don't know why.
Just unhuman.
Unnatural.
Yeah, unnatural, unhuman.
Imagine like a stretched out ET in like whitey tighties. Or am I wrong?
No, it's pretty much that. It's just human head instead of
long white hair.
Long white, yeah.
You can't tell if it's like a chick or a man.
I couldn't tell.
Because there's no bulge. Like we all looked.
There's nothing. There's no, at all in any. But anyways, that's a different topic.
Yeah, but the skin's like loose, so it might be like boobs, but it wasn't. It was a guy.
It's like mutated.
I looked it up. The guy who played that is actually like a really famous caricature actor. Like he does a lot of prosthetic shit. He gets done up. He's the guy from Hellboy. He played Hellboy's friend, the water guy. Doug Jones.
Yeah. He's
been in a whole bunch of movies. Like the more horror movies we'll do, I'll point him out, bro. But I think he might have been like Predator 2 or some shit. He's like, he does all types of like makeup stuff because he's a giant motherfucker and just really big.
Yeah, I mean that
skinny as hell.
I mean at that point, if he's like giant as hell and everything, you can use the figure to and work around with to make it like characters like that. Because I'm sure like the guy who plays Michael Myers, the guy who plays Jason, like I'm sure they're all like big like dudes anyways.
Yeah.
That if you put a mask on him and you saw him from far away, you'd be like, what the fuck? So it's like that makes sense why they would use that guy for it.
Mm-hmm. But the part in the penthouse, I liked it. I felt like that was really good tension, really good suspense. And like it told you a story without telling you a story. Like you said, it confused you, but like I was zeroed in. Like they played the recording, the little news clippings, and the recording says nothing. It's just slow motion.
I was trying to figure that if it was like it's one of those where you have to play backwards, or if it's one of those you have to like
it's slow down.
Yeah, slow down, or if it's one of those where it's like it's a native language. I couldn't figure it out, but that's what I was like. I couldn't tell like at that point like if it was like some. Well, I didn't think it was a cult, but it was like what was it like? Some rituals, some testings of like because I think they hinted at that. Now that I think about it, they hinted the beginning of like when how they killed the second girl and like they went into the room and no they didn't kill the girl. It was one of the girls that was infected but hasn't turned yet. And then like when they were leaving, the camera guy saw a rat just run at him and try to like bite him, but then he killed it and was like showing it, and like that was one of the test rats that escaped from up there, which I guess then explains like how the dog got infected and how everyone else got infected. Because it's like at that point, I wonder if it was like that's like a little project that it's like see who you can get infected, or if it was something that wasn't supposed to happen yet, but it kind of got let loose.
Definitely wasn't supposed to happen. I refuse to believe that like if you were gonna start the end of the world, you'd get trapped in your own apartment in your fucking birthday suit and just starve to death upstairs.
It's like, what was that guy doing up there anyways? He didn't even care about anything.
Yeah, they said he was up there for months alone. You would starve to death. I don't give a fuck what the virus does. Your body couldn't like continue without food. That's the whole premise of like 28 Days Later, which this feels almost identical to, just with a video camera. After 28 days, spoiler alert, all the fucking zombies starve because you gotta eat something.
Yeah. But it's like, the dude wasn't unbothered by quarantine stuff or anything. I guess he didn't even hear anything, so I don't even know if he could. But it's like, even then, it's like, he just didn't even give a shit about anything. He was just doing his own thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, at that point, like, what are you doing? Like, how often do you have to, like, like test on subjects and everything. Make like what is it that you're trying to like formulate at that point? Like for obviously to turn them into like infection, spread it out. But it's like at that point you're like, I don't want them to turn. I want them to start eating each other. I want them to like kill each other. Like, what is the end goal at that
I want to know how he sneaks in 30 cages of rats into an apartment complex and nobody asks questions.
That too. I guess that makes sense. But it's like even then, it's like you're testing around rats, which I guess makes sense because most people test on rats and stuff like that. But like my like I said, my question is, what is the end goal? If you're making it like an infection or whatever, what is your end goal to be like? To what point you're like, this is perfect. This is what I want. It's not like the first that they turn now. Okay, I want to see what they do, and you keep testing and testing and testing. It's like, what makes you push for that?
Or the guy had no idea what he was doing. Like the news clipping said that they just broke into a lab and stole some shit. And he just has this stuff and he accidentally infects himself in his apartment before he can do whatever they had planned to do with it. And that's how it like spilled out.
I can see that, I guess.
I mean, it's not explained. That's all just like hearsay. That's a theory, I guess.
It's just a theory.
Speaking of like Armageddon cults, if you were to join like a doomsday cult, what like would your brand be?
What do you mean?
Like, you know how there's like the doomsday guys who are scared of the government coming to take your guns. There's the people who are scared of like global warming. There's the people that are afraid of like, I don't know, meteors, volcanoes.
The fuck?
What else? Any type of doomsday scenario. Which one would you join?
Like at this point, is it more of like what I believe in more?
Which one would you like ease into the easiest? Aliens, the zombie apocalypse. Like you're just hanging out with a group of guys who are just like are religious.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Because it's like I would assume it's something I would probably believe more it's going to be actually happen. Because it's like I want to join a doomsday cult for volcanoes because I'm like that doesn't seem very logical. And the zombie ones kind of isn't as logical either.
Sounds fun though.
Sounds fun. Don't get me wrong. It's like everyone's dream. It's like, oh, one day we get kids kill zombies like in the games and stuff like that. But it's like realistically, like I don't know what doomsday thing would be like an actual thing where I'm like, okay, I can believe this. I think the closest one I could think of maybe that's an actual thing is maybe the nuclear one.
Nukes?
Yeah.
So you'd want to be in like a bunker, like straight living out like Fallout, but before like the nukes fall.
I think that seems the most realistic, honestly. Because I mean, and then again, it's like there's been times where they like other countries threatened like to nuke us and everything. So like that one I could see more happening than like a volcano or zombies and stuff like that.
I get you.
So I can see the nuke one maybe.
I think I'd do like the vegan Armageddon.
What the fuck is the vegan Armageddon?
I don't think it's a real thing, but I was thinking about this the other day.
So you would be vegan, or would you be against the vegans?
I think I'd join the vegans.
Oh, you would join the vegans?
Yeah.
Lose weight.
That'd be one of the reasons. But
exercise and eat healthy.
Look, hear me out. All right. So what if there was like this group of vegan people who hardcore thought like they were like, you know what? There's the government's like they
infected the meat.
No. They got like because of irony. There's like these factories where they're like turning people into meat, and they want people to like eat other people because
cannibalism.
They want to see what like the animals go through and shit.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see that happening.
I want to join that cult, bro.
I can't believe out of everything you would join that cult. Out of everything that you could think of.
Either them or the zombies, dude. I just wanted to do it just to like wear my zombie apocalypse outfit. I don't know what it would be, but it'd be something.
What would be your choice of weapon?
Probably the fucking Super Mario outfit you see back there.
Go to like a party city and just be like, give me that one.
Bro, just get the coveralls, the white gloves, and a red hat. This is a plumber, bro. I'd have a plunger. That's my move.
You just put like a little pocket knife attached to it with tape on it.
Yeah.
There you go. No, I mean, I don't know. That one would be pretty interesting. Because it's like you see the games, you see the movies, and like, all right, it looks pretty cool. But then, realistically talking, like, what are the chances of that actually happening?
Realistically, bro, almost all cults are dumb. Don't come after me, cults. But like, you know, said the likelihood of like you being
A part of one.
the like last bastion of human society, like it's all far fetched and it's all a dream. So you might as well have fun whichever one you're gonna join.
Well, in that case, it's probably the zombie one. I'm sure everyone's be like, I want to kill zombies and shoot guns and shit like that.
What would your weapon be in the zombie apocalypse?
That's a good one. It's like, do I want to use a melee weapon or do I want to use like a firearm?
Melee weapon. You can't run out of bullets with the melee weapon.
Can't run out, but you get overwhelmed.
It's true.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I don't know which one I would choose because they both would be pretty cool. I just don't know which one I would and preferably go with. Especially like what type of like talking like a sword, talking like a baseball bat with spikes, or talking with an axe, a chainsaw, or stuff like that. I'm like so many options. Not too sure what I would pick in the end.
What if you just had like a water gun with like acid?
I mean,
I don't think
I wouldn't be
like
against it.
It wouldn't be too effective, but it'd be cool.
It would. I was like, I wouldn't be against it, but I don't know how. Like I said, I don't know how effective it would be because it's like if it's a small water gun.
It does like weak ass squirts. Bro.
Yeah, it's like hold them down.
You gotta shake it.
I gotta refill after like 2 shots. No, but yeah, I don't know. It would be pretty cool though. Terrifying as hell, but it'd be pretty cool. Like, okay, if you were in that quarantine movie, say you were one of like the people, like this, this is actually going on for like real shit. Like this actually is happening.
We're in the apartment and I'm scared. Okay, go.
Yeah, so it's like, what is your reaction to this? Is it more of like, I'm killing zombies, fuck this, or is it more of like you're freaking out, or is it more of like staying calm, or what? What's going on?
I don't know, dude. It seems like with that cop, he really wasn't letting anybody do anything productive. Because, see, my main objective would be you want to be a part of making this idiot proof. I take this approach at my job. I want to be the guy who has the most responsibility because I trust myself more than other people.
Mm.
And to me, the biggest and the most important job is to make sure those 2 fucking guys that were acting very sus aren't allowed to just get up and move around,
Which 2 guys?
The fireman and then there was 2 guys on the table.
Oh, the fireman and the lady wasn't? No. Who was the other guy?
Doesn't matter. There was 2 infected people who were supposed to be being watched and not allowed to overrun, which they end up fucking doing.
Oh, it was the other cop. It was your partner.
Yes.
Okay.
So I feel like that would be my role, is to try to keep them from like getting out of eyesight and affecting other people. Now, once the little girl gets infected, that's a whole nother variable. That's something you couldn't plan for.
Yeah.
But that would be my role, is to kind of try to like hold the fort down and be a muscle for that part.
Now tell me this. How much of that would actually happen if the character's characteristics stayed the same?
What do you mean?
Like the way they are, the way they think, their attitudes, all that stuff. Like
if the cop was like, no, you stay the fuck away from that
room. Like the cop was like that. The drunk guy was the same way. Like all the characters were still the same characters.
Listen, bro, I barricade myself in my fucking room and fuck everybody else at that point. That's all you can do, is just like weather the storm.
That makes sense. Yeah, because it's like
you can't leave. You can't help. So
you can't do shit. Well, even what the cops like, you can't go upstairs. You gotta stay down here and everything.
I would tell him to lick my shaved cactus nuts.
the South Park episode. He's like, what was it? It's like, you can suck my balls.
I said you can suck my balls.
Funny show. But yeah, I mean,
what would you do in the situation?
I would be annoyed as hell. First off, with all these people, like if they were like that, I'd be like annoyed because they're all just like not even like adult thinking at this point. I mean, I get it, it's a stressful situation, but even at that point, you wouldn't be freaking out and doing the things they would do. But I guess if the cop isn't gonna let me do shit, and everyone's like not helping, then I guess like how you said, it'd probably just be better to just barricade yourself in your room, not let anybody in until everything's over, and then I guess just stay down, not near a window before you get sniped like that one character did, the Indian dude. And I guess just wait it out, because I mean they said they were sending help, and they actually did send the CDC guys in there, But at that point, you have to trust how much they're not gonna just barge in your room and just shoot you down because they assume that everyone's infected. It's a risk, but I mean, everything's a risk at this point, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. And I thought about it too. I'm like, what if quarantines were like that?
I mean, they have really happened like that before, like in foreign countries, possibly here too.
Really?
Yeah, like Chernobyl, bro.
One time.
Chernobyl, there's been most of it's radiation involved. Quarantine happens with a lot of fucking radiation. That's happened a couple of times there, I think. Fukushima in Japan.
But okay, I'm saying like to the extent of like how they did it, where guns pointing and everything. Like you step out this door, we're killing you. Type of quarantine.
The Colts thing I told you about, Waco, that happened. They started blasting on fucking women and children, man.
What the fuck?
Yeah. It's happened. I guarantee if we look into it, I bet you it's happened a bunch of fucking times and we just don't know about it.
Interesting. Because it's like, I feel like that's a little excessive, but I guess, like how you're saying it, I guess you need to, I guess.
It's no different than, like, the witch trials back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Really, it's just people handling situations poorly.
It's a bit that. I guess at this point, it's the whole thing, which I guess you can say reference to today.
Mm-hmm.
How we're still going through this because no one wanted a quarantine.
Right. Thanks,
America.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know, dude. I don't want to get into that too much like at this second. Let's close out the movie. Maybe we'll talk about
it. We're still talking about the movie?
Yeah, bro.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, so the end happened. Angela gets fucking dragged away in the darkness.
And then it cuts off.
So you didn't even care for the ending?
No. I'm like, okay, she gets dragged off. I'm assuming she either dies because like he killed the camera guy. I'm assuming he did the same thing to her, or she becomes the new test subject.
How do you feel about movies with like, you know, bad endings? Like bad things happen to the main character.
Are you referring to bad endings like the movie just had a bad ending that it could?
No, like.
Or are you referring to like those?
The tone is like fuck.
Oh, okay, like so, like okay. I think if it's done right, it can be a good ending. Because it's like, if you're attached to this character, I guess, and like, at the end, like, that happens, you're just like, damn, that's kind of fucked up. Like, shit. But it makes you think about it, and like, you're attached to the character. Mm-hmm. If you're not attached to the character, she gets dragged, I'm like, you just don't care. Like, yeah, I'm like, the ending, and I'm like, that's it? Well, I mean, that's cool, I guess, but it's kind of stupid. But if you had character development, like, I got attached to this character so much, where it's like, shit, you know, like, she ended up dying, like, that sucks. You know, like, you actually care about that. So it can be done well if the character develop is there. Mm-hmm. Other than that, it's like, you just don't care. It's like another movie where someone dies. Like I said, everyone else that died in the movie that got bit or whatever, you just didn't care for him because you didn't have any character development. So I think that plays a big role in it.
Yeah. I like the movie more than I walked into it, right? But the ending left me with still meh.
Yeah. Like what was your opinion on the ending?
Cliched. Like how we talked about, the whole movie was pretty much like, okay, she's gonna get dragged away. That guy's gonna get bit. That guy's gonna get bit. The camera guy's gonna die. Oh, she's, you know, in this position where she's crawling towards the camera and it's all black behind her. She's gonna get pulled away. Mm-hmm. It was all very predictable. But like I said, I enjoyed the end part where we're like the camera's panning around all these news articles and stuff, and we're kind of putting together the pieces of what happened without, you know, some character being in the attic instead and going, this, and this happened. I thought that was a good filming technique. So I appreciated that aspect.
Like there's some like decent ideas that I could say like the quarantine idea was a pretty cool idea. Like if it was done right, it would have been cool. And then some of the way things were shot was pretty cool. Like I said, that one scene where he kills her with the camera and you see the camera like covered in blood and everything. Like there's some decent things in this movie where it's like I'm like, I give them credit for what they were going for, and like, if it was done better, it would have been a better movie.
And like you said, man, it's a good conversation starter at least, because like you were asking me about like, is quarantine, could it really be like this? So it's an interesting premise on top of like the rage virus shit. But how well they execute it is quite. But then, no, what I was going to say is this is a remake of another movie.
Mm-hmm.
So we're giving credit to this director when low key.
It should be for the original movie.
Yes.
Which you said is literally the same.
The exact same movie, which is kind of shitty because you would think that if it's a remake, you would improve upon what you're trying to copy.
Is it literally like you said it was scene by scene, but is it literally everything scene by scene, or is there like some differences here and there?
There's going to be a couple differences, clearly, but like
are those
generally,
are they major?
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
No, but I've seen like comparisons and side by side videos and shit.
Okay.
And I've read about it, so I couldn't tell you scene by scene. I'm being sarcastic, but
okay. So then, in that case, I wonder if the credit we are giving this movie was done better in the original, and the guy that made the remake or whatever you would call it just made it shittier.
That's very possible.
Because now that you mentioned that, because I thought when you said that you meant like literally like side by side, like it was the exact same thing, just obviously foreign, and the ending's a little different because a different like compared to like whatever this movie was going for. But if it's different and the guy just made it more shittier than it was, then I'm sure the first movie is a lot better than this, or the original one.
I don't know. We gotta do like somewhere down the road. Maybe we'll watch Wreck
and then compare the two. And hopefully, it's not the same.
Probably should have done that for this one because I mean, sounds like I said, from what I've heard, it's the same movie. But I guess maybe we could talk about how it was different.
Yeah, we could do that. As long as it's not like this movie where it just drags on, I'm okay. Also, by the way, I saw that you were watching the second one. I also actually saw the trailer for the second one, and apparently, like, because I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna want to watch the second one, so I might as well just talk about it. It's literally the moment this one's happening is the moment that happens. Because I don't know if that's all you saw or if you saw the trailer for it.
I've seen the movie.
You've seen the whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay, I saw in the trailer that the moment it's on an airplane or like an airport. It's like the moment that quarantine's happening is the moment the other one's happening. So it's like the same time, and it looks the same but just much much worse. Is it?
Yeah. It's pretty much this if it was like straight to video version.
Okay, that makes more sense. Because I saw it and I was like, this looks even more bad than this one already.
There's more no-name actors and they're doing more like cliche shit. It's just goofy.
Okay, that's what I figured it was. I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to want to watch the second one. This one was already pretty bad anyways.
So let's go with ratings, man. 1 to 6 inches. Where are you going, sir?
I'm going with the 1 on this one.
Solid 1?
Solid 1, if not 1.5. That's about it. This movie it was, like I said, some cool ideas. So I'll give it the 1.5 because of the half of the cool ideas. Everything
That's the biggest shade in the world, bro. I like it though, dude.
This movie just sucked. It's like, to me, this is like a straight to DVD movie to me at this point. A little better than straight to DVD, but majority of it's straight to DVD.
Like I said, I came into this movie 2, but I'm leaving 3.
Also, if you rate this movie higher than a 3, I'd be upset.
Yeah, like I said, I came into it like with the same mindset you do. Maybe at some point you'll run it back and you'll
appreciate
think different of it. But from like I said, because I had your like opinion of it going in, I was like, gotta watch Quarantine again.
Did you watch it again, or are you just going off your memory?
No, I watched it again.
Okay, how much different was your thought of the movie the first time you watched it to like this time that you watched it?
I told you, because when I came into it, my mindset was like, this is a really cliche movie. It's slow. It's not all that interesting.
But you know how sometimes the more you watch it, the more you start to appreciate things or like things better? Did that change at all or no?
Not really. Like, the beginning part and the end is the only things that changed for me. I was like, okay, because I kind of, in my mind, I had expanded that whole middle part through the whole movie for myself. But upon rewatching it, I was like, okay, that intro I liked. Kill here, there were all right. The ending I really liked. And that's pretty much the only difference. The middle, though, is still like, meh, I guess we'll do this.
Do you think this movie's better than the other movie that we did, The Army of the Dead? Because you know how we were shitting on that movie, and we're shitting on this movie too. Which one do you think is better?
Listen, bro, Army of the Dead pissed me off, but it's not a shit movie.
No,
like, the kills are cool.
That's actually pretty fun. But yeah, you're
right. The
right.
violence is fun. The characters, they're stupid, but they're kind of interesting.
Yeah, I guess not think about it. Yeah, that is true.
Just for the kills alone makes it a better movie.
Yeah, actually, you're right, because on that movie's review, I said that this movie's a pretty cool movie to watch when, like, you're either drunk or, like, just, like, hey, let's throw on, like, a fun movie to watch, like, pass the time or whatever. Mm-hmm. This one, I don't even know if it would be fun to watch at all.
No, dude, you put it on, nobody's going to want to watch it.
It's going to get boring, not even if you're drunk. Because the other one's, like, I'm sure the other one would be more fun to watch if you were drunk. This one's, like, if you're drunk, it's, like, someone turn this shit off.
Right.
I'm sorry if you like this movie, but I don't.
Moving on, sir. So that was quarantine. So now we're just going to bullshit a little bit. And what were you asking me about? Were you asking me about, like, actual COVID quarantine?
Yeah, like, I mean, I don't think it would have gone that bad. But if it was to be, like, quarantine that happened, but next thing you know, it's next level shit, like how it was over there. Like, every house is getting quarantined like that. Like, how would you feel about that?
If they were making us quarantine like that?
Yeah. Like, if it got very bad.
They got really fucking close to doing that, I think, dog. Because do you remember when COVID started, I never stopped working. You didn't stop working, right?
Stopped. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But you remember, because we were considered, essential workers.
Yeah.
And the initial thing happened. Everybody's running to stores. Everybody's starting to strip the shelves. That shit was low key, It was a little, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. Because actually, now that you mentioned that, I remember it, besides that part where everyone's kind of just stacking up on random shit where it's like, now it just looks stupid. But it's like, I remember when quarantine first happened, which honestly, it was like the best thing ever because gas was so cheap. No one was on the freeways. It was like the best shit ever. I remember they made it seem like there was a big deal where it's like that we had a curfew, no one could get out unless you had permission to go out.
They were gonna give you fucking cards from your job in case you got pulled over.
Yeah,
and that part was when it was starting to get like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, and you know what? It never happened.
It didn't. You never had to use it, but I have it still. The card they gave you as an essential worker if you were gonna be stopped and they were gonna ask you what you were doing out.
I just got a piece of paper and that's all I had.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember like when they first started, like people were making a big deal about like how the army's gonna be out, like stopping you if they see you driving around, stuff like that. And at that point, if they stop you and you have the essential card to be like, well, I'm working or whatever. But it's like I never saw any of that happen at all.
Yeah, but then that part kind of make you think like, where the fuck is this going? There was certain parts where it was like a ramp up, where it was like, all right, when is this gonna stop?
But I mean, they never got to the point like this, though.
I know, but it felt like it was
slowly.
It was escalating, Like at some point there was gonna
really
be
bad.
Army dudes like on the road and shit.
The moment you step out, they're gonna shoot you, even if you're not sick.
They pull you over. You don't have that business card. You gotta like lick some fucking dude's armpit.
What the fuck? I mean, how bad would it have to get if to be like that? Because people were infected anyways.
I think I was more paranoid about not the army doing anything. If the government wanted to kill us, they wouldn't have to do that. You realize that, right?
They could just literally just come in right now and just shoot me down.
No, why would they do that? You know what they would need to do?
Well,
they stop the trucks, friend.
What do you mean?
They close down the roads. Trucks stop delivering to grocery stores. Food, all Walmart, Target, they all stop getting food. What do we do?
Oh, I thought you meant like just like straight up just come and kill me type thing.
No. Like, but I'm saying if they wanted to kill you, that's how they'd do it. We'd all fucking starve to death, bro. But what would you eat?
All the vegetables have been growing out in the backyard.
No. You guys couldn't have access to any of the vegetables.
You wouldn't eat shit. That's all. Because it's like you wouldn't have anything to eat. Once your food's gone, it's gone.
There's not enough animals around here for everybody to eat, bro. There's hundreds of thousands of people here.
It's more of like at that point, it's kind of like a doomsday thing.
That's when like all them fucking like factions would start up. There'd be raiding parties.
Isn't that how it is in other countries though? Like Colombia and other countries where like there's areas where like like food's so limited that people fight over it, and like the government's corrupted and stuff like that.
I think that's more Africa.
Is it?
That was sorry if that's racist.
That was more Southern America, like in some of the areas.
Well, no, you're thinking of like warlord type shit. That's where like guys with money have bought the government, and they have like a warlord unofficially.
Oh, okay.
That's more like drug related than food related.
I mean, it's still kind of the same concept because it's like food's very limited and super expensive and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But I guess it's not the same in a sense either.
I mean, like, that's why I always ask that, like, in those movies, in apocalypse movies, when, like, there's always cannibals. There's always a group of fucking cannibals, dude. It never fails in every apocalypse movie. There's always a group of assholes.
It's like, damn, that was that fast for you to resort to this?
And usually, sometimes it's maybe like 10 years in. So maybe 10 years in, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, because at that point, it's like, oh, I have no food. You guys have meat. Cook meat. Eat it.
And you got, like, an idea of why that happens.
Like, why cannibalism happens? Or, like, down the line, like, 10 years from now, that starts to be a thing?
Yeah, because there was more assholes than good guys that stepped up in a leadership position. Mm-hmm. Because say if you like you were the leader of a group, right? The group's gonna follow whatever you do. Mm-hmm. If you happen to be the strongest guy there, or you have you're a group of guys who are stronger than everybody. If you are decent people, that doesn't happen.
Yeah, it's always a bigger asshole.
But if the guy who's an asshole is in charge, everybody just follows suit.
Yeah.
So, like, in those situations, I always like to think, I would try to assemble a faction, not be fucking assholes, bro.
I can see that. Because it's like, yeah, there's always the group that's always the cannibalists that always just try to kill anybody they see. No, But I mean, at that point, I think they lose their mind, so it's like, whatever.
Yeah, but then again, I mean, we're talking about motherfuckers starving. So who knows, bro? Maybe if I'm starving, bro, I'm going to just start eating everybody.
Everybody's
on
no one's safe,
even guys in my own faction.
But it's like, I mean, I get it, but my thing would be, if this was to actually happen, like, say, I guess I don't know if they would go to the extent of putting everyone in this same type of quarantine. But if this was to actually happen, like, how bad would it have to have gotten for everyone to get quarantined and the army, I guess, to be surrounding your house, that the moment you step out of your house or whatever, or try to leave, they're ready to gun you down?
They couldn't do it here because that's, not to be cliche, but that's the beauty of our country, is that there's so many motherfuckers with guns that it'd be hard to do. I mean, don't get me wrong, they could do it and they could snatch people up, but it would definitely be harder than, say, in China, where they have total control and it's totalitarian. None of those people have weapons because they're fucking illegal in their country. Mm-hmm. So the government's the only one with weapons. So they jump into a village, bro. Everybody. Can't nobody do nothing. But in our country, man, there's,
people ready to shoot back.
Everybody's ready to fucking, well, not everybody, but everybody has the capability to, defend themselves to an extent.
I guess that's true. Because it's like,
that's why they say that if guns ever got banned, that would be a step towards us being in that situation where all the government has to do is come in and...
I never thought about it that way.
And I'm not a huge, politics guy. Like, oh, you're not taking my guns. Like, I don't give a fuck, dude. I don't need my goddamn gun. I have it, but...
When was the time you even used it?
Bro, I just got summoned for fucking jury duty. For, the 9th goddamn time, bro. Have you ever been summoned for jury duty?
I've been once, and the one time I was, it got canceled. And ever since then, I've never been summoned.
I've literally been summoned 9 times.
What do you do?
I never had to actually do it. I've always gone to the fucking thing, and they never pick me. My dad... I'm not going to say this, because I said my dad. I should have said some guy. Yeah. Love you, Dad. Anyways.
So my thing... Well, I guess going to that... You said that they ask you to come in and they pick people and that's it, and then be like, if they don't pick you, then go home.
Yeah, they bring you in with 30 people and they're gonna pick 7 of you or 10 of you. I can't remember.
Why don't they just pick 7 randomly instead of just having 30 people come in and then pick 7 people?
They filter you. They tell you information about the trial, and then they go, "Do you know this guy? Because if you know this guy, you can't be on the jury."
Oh.
They say, "Are you prejudiced? You hate old people? You hate young people? Do you hate this race of people? Whatever the fuck. If you have any of those issues, then you can't be on the trial."
So you've said no 7 times?
No, they just never happened to pick me out of the 30.
Oh. Yeah, because it was once that I got called for it, and then I think I called the day it's supposed to happen, the day before it's supposed to happen, just to like make sure, I guess. And they said it was canceled and it wasn't gonna happen anymore. But it's like I remember reading it. It's like, isn't it like if you don't show up or you don't go, it's like a high penalty, isn't it, something like that?
They try to say it is, but I'm pretty sure, bro. There's a lot of people who just ignore that fucking summons.
What was the penalty? Is it like
Probably a fine, I would guess.
A fine or something like that?
I doubt they're gonna drag you to fucking prison for not going to a jury duty. Probably a fine.
I don't remember this is like 2 years ago that happened to me.
Do you understand why that's important?
Bias?
No, to be a jury person.
To not be biased?
What do you mean?
Like, not lean towards someone's side?
Well, yeah, I mean that's why you have a jury. But do you know why, like, they make a big ass deal about like when you're summoned and you're supposed to go?
Oh, I thought you were saying like why it's important to have people there. No, because they have like so many people like just show up.
Well, I know, but I mean the reason it was started is because the country, they want you to be judged by randos. They don't want the government to have a select committee of people who are like, who could have conflicted interests, like telling you, this is why you're going to jail. We think you are guilty. So they just pick random people out of the crowd and they're your fucking jury.
I mean, it makes sense because you don't want to have someone that's gonna like set you free if you did something horrible that's super obvious,
or throw you in jail if you didn't do anything.
Yeah, and I guess it makes sense why they interview you and everything to make sure you're not super like, I don't like this race. That person just happens to be that race. I send them to jail. I don't care if he didn't do anything at all. So I guess it makes sense, but I was like, they made it seem like a big deal. It really makes you think about like, how our country is run and how our systems work. Because it's like I said, just what's stopping America from doing whatever they want?
Nothing really.
Exactly. So one day they can just pull the plug on anything. Next thing you know, this house gets quarantined. People are just outside waiting to shoot you the moment you step out.
Now they're trying to touch my corn.
Sir, you have the last piece of corn here.
Listen, take anything in the house, just don't touch my corn.
You mean your porn?
That too. Leave the Wi-Fi on. You can keep the tarp on the doors, just leave the Wi-Fi on.
You can take my gun, but just don't take my porn.
Exactly.
Leave the corn, though. I need that also.
But anyways, with that being said, young Alex, we're going to be moving on now with our day, not with this podcast. I worded that funny.
It's all good.
But guys, thank you for being here. Thank you to Alex. Make sure you guys are checking out the TikTok, the Instagram. I'm not sure how much longer the Facebook's going to be a thing.
Probably going to be shut down after this.
More than likely.
Do you have a Twitter, by the way?
No. I have a Twitter, yeah.
I saw in the last video because I went back to watch it. You had a Twitter logo.
A symbol?
Yeah.
Once again, I figured out how to like put those on, but I'm still shit about like sharing the links.
Okay, that makes sense. I was just curious about that.
Yeah. So Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok right now are the moves.
Probably the best ones anyways.
And also this will be posted on Apple, Spotify, wherever the hell you watch your stuff. Thank you for watching. This has been the Death Taco Podcast.